Anyone there? Use the microphone on controller 2 to answer me. Congrats, kid. You managed to find the secret track. To reward you for your discovery, I thought I'll teach you everything you need to know about NES music. We'll start with the basics and move on to more advanced techniques later, okay? I'll have to ask you a favor though. If anyone asks you how you learned the stuff I'm about to teach you, don't mention me. No one knows who I am anyway. Let's get started. The Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES for short, was an 8-bit home console released in the US in 1985. Its Japanese version, the Family Computer, or Famicom for short, was released 2 years earlier. Oh, and the PAL version was released in 1986 with its Australasian, who the hell still uses that, version launching a year later. Since we only care about the sound, here's a sprite recreation of the sound chip, RP2A03. The PAL version used a variant called RP2A07. This chip is responsible for all the NES music you've been listening to. Okay, sound channels. First up are the pulse waves. They're usually the lead instruments. Most people call them square waves for some reason, but I think that's inaccurate. Let's have a listen. The pulse wave fixed the timbre? Or is that pronounced timbre? Who cares? The timbre of the wave. You can stick to a single pulse width, or you can change on the fly to make different sounds. Here are some examples. You'll probably notice two pulse widths sound the same. 25 and 75% widths are inverted versions of each other, so technically the NES only has 3 unique pulse widths to work with in the pulse channels. Before we move on, let me explain the channel volumes. The pulse channel's volumes can be set from 0 to 15. Using them wisely can result in endless instrument options. What? You want vibrato? Oh, I almost forgot. Vibratos and pitch shifts can be achieved pretty easily on the NES. There's one catch though. The higher the note is, the more exaggerated the vibrato effect becomes. Here's what I mean. Next up is the triangle channel. It's usually used for the bass line, but I've heard instances when it's used like a flute. Here's what it sounds like. You can't change the volume for this one. That's just how NES music works. Next up, the noise channel. This channel is mostly used for percussion. The metallic sounds are rarely used in NES music, but they sound cool I guess. Finally, the DPCM channel. You can play 1-bit Delta PCM samples stored in the game pack like I'm doing right now. I love to work with Zhao samples. They still sound great despite the bit crushing it does. DPCM isn't used often because samples take up a lot of space in the game pack. Early games only had 40 kilobytes of ROM space to work with, so realistic samples were dropped in favor of simple noise percussion. My speech would be impossible to do on early game packs because the 4081 byte samples alone would dominate the game without a game loop. Luckily, modern memory mappers allow for bigger ROM sizes than game packs to store them in, which is how I can talk right now. But that's only a portion of what it can do. It can do 7-bit raw PCM samples if you're willing to sacrifice CPU resources. Here's the difference. This is how I sound like in 7-bit raw PCM. Pretty neat, isn't it? Too bad it reveals my age. Damn it. Well, I'd love to keep talking in such a clear voice, but the CPU's demanding me to stop. It takes up more ROM space than DPCM samples, so you have to be someone like Rob Hubbard to do music with this. I'm a fan of his NES work, by the way. Oh yeah, the DPCM channel borrows resources from the triangle and noise channels to use samples, so they sound quieter as samples play. I could abuse this quirk to lower the triangle channel to about half its volume. And that's it for the basics. I hope you learnt something. I don't really mind if you didn't learn anything though, I just wanted someone to talk to. I might teach you more advanced stuff if you manage to find the other hidden tracks. See you then.